Spoiler warning for The Woman in the Yard. What's up, guys? It's Courtney, one half of the Brothers Deconstruction, and I'm reviewing The Woman in the Yard. I just came out of this a few hours ago, and this is one of those movies that I keep having internal conversations about. I've seen some of the discourse online from people saying they loved it, with a few that also said it wasn't good, and I gotta agree with the latter. I'm hovering around mid to bad. I only watched 2 trailers for the movie, but I think this second trailer is the one that kind of gives away the fact that Danielle Deadwyler's character Ramona had something to do with the death of her husband. And this movie is a psychological horror about depression. Having that information from the trailer that something was off led me to bounce around trying to figure out what was going on. I originally thought The Woman in the Yard was going to turn out to be Ramona, and the entire movie was made up in her head, and we'd find out she was having bipolar psychosis. At the start of the movie, seeing her get out of bed and open a medication bottle but not take any of the pills led me in this direction. There's even a point where we see that Ramona is the woman in the yard, but it's part of a sequence as she realizes what's going on. The reason why I'm hovering between mid and bad is because the movie has really good cinematography. There are several times where the camera and editing work make you question what's real or not. And Danielle Deadwyler also does a really good job in this role. She really sells being a broken woman that's home with her children but not actively present, if that makes sense. She also displays abusive tendencies as well when she lashes out in anger. The child actors did a pretty good job as well, but their characters also made some dumb decisions. And this wasn't even a long movie, hour and 28 minutes, and I think even then the pacing was a bit too fast, and they kind of rushed through some things because of the brevity. It's just a lot of shit doesn't add up, and there are too many inconsistencies to overcome. Now, I love that this movie tackles depression and suicidal ideation and how depressed people only seem to function in a bare minimum capacity. The woman is the manifestation of depression that comes to help Ramona kill herself. Now, Ramona ultimately decides not to, and the movie ends happily with one of the kids asking, is she gonna come back? With Ramona answering, not today, but I'll be ready when she does. We'll be ready. Just like that. And I'm actually coming back to add this particular part to the video, but apparently people are interpreting the ending as she did kill herself due to the movie zooming in at the final frame of the movie, zooming in at her signature on one of her paintings in the house, which is like backwards, which was a thing that she was trying to teach her daughter. I say that to say, this just shows that this movie was very messy. And at one point, I was thinking about how this is like the reverse of Lights Out. If you've seen it, you know what I'm talking about regarding a powerful entity that works in the shadows and a main character that is depressed. However, at one point we see the chickens on their farm, like the aftermath where they were brutally murdered, and another time Ramona goes outside to bring their dog back in the house, but she's pulling on the chain and there's nothing on the end of the chain. The son Tay even asks her at one point if he's dead, but the dog happily returns to the family at the end of the movie as they go back into the house. And the farm finally has a name, which is a callback to a video that she was continually watching of a conversation she recorded of her and her husband having about the farm. So I guess the way that it ended does kind of sound like she killed herself after all. Anyway, another time, Tay talks to the woman in the yard and he goes and asks his mom to tell the truth about what happened the night they got into the car accident that killed his dad. So, she's real enough for the kids to interact with her, but she still has the power of a poltergeist to use shadows to touch and affect things in the real world. In my opinion, all this messy shit holds the movie back, which is a shame because there was real potential here. Ultimately, at the end of the day, the lesson that we learned is go to therapy.